For anyone who's thinking about starting out on the piano, my experience with being self-taught has some pros and cons to it, like most things. The pros, the great part, I got to skip out on so many hours and time and money on piano lessons, or I didn't have to do that, just got to skip to doing what I wanted to do. The bad part is, the disadvantage is that I feel like I have plateaued with my level of music ability, right? I don't know much music theory or any, and I can't read music, right? I can only use kind of the systems that I developed for myself. That's how I play everything. What I can do is I can play chords decently well. Like, you know how like some people can play 4 chords on the guitar, and that works for them because most songs are only 4 chords and maybe another one here or there. But that's what I can do. I can play chords really well, and that works for me because most songs are 4 chords, and the melodies are usually within, you know, a note or two of the chords, if that kind of makes sense for people who know music. Usually the melody is just kind of within the chords, and so it's not too much of a stretch to, once you know how to play the chords, to like, oh, okay, I can kind of track the melody as it happens with the chord progression. And I can do that pretty well, and that works for me because I can go out, listen to a song, be like, okay, it kind of sounds like this, here's a chord progression. I can work in the melody here and there, and it works, and we all go our separate ways, and I never had to take any piano lessons. I don't know anything too fancy, and that works for me because, like, I don't want to play Beethoven or Bach. I don't know what happens at piano lessons, but here's what I recommend for anyone who wants to maybe go the self-taught route. The hardest part is sorting out and getting squared away with your hands, because everything's going to be stiff at first. I can still remember what it's like. It's like your fingers don't want to move independently of each other, and then you're going to have to come up with some sort of system to memorize what keys sound like what. I didn't go the music theory route, and I'm pretty sure they go into that, but I just, you know, did some brute force dead reckoning. I'm like, okay, there's white keys and black keys, and the black keys happen like in 2s and 3s, and I can remember that C is always going to be, okay, like you take the 2 black keys down 1, and that's always C, and then E is like, you know, a couple up from that, and then, you know, you just memorize, okay, these notes sound like this when I push these ones, and it's just time and exposure to it. It's like, you know, I spent multiple summers just hammering out, you know, little riffs and you know, remembering what sounded like what, and I just remembered it. There is no shortcut to that, but you can cut out a lot of what I would say is the unnecessary things and just go right into spending all your time in working on the systems that are going to directly benefit you to play the things that you want to play and not worry about Beethoven, right? And then just working out the muscle, whatever happens with your hands, because it's a weird thing where it's like, okay, once you remember, okay, these keys sound like this, it's like your hand doesn't always want to cooperate, and you have to get those things in sync with each other, right? Mind muscle connection type thing or whatever. Once you figure that out, it's like, okay, you can start out slow, and then just like anything else that you can learn, you do it simple, and then you progressively, you know, make it more complex and add different variations to it. And that's how I learn things. You know, if I wanted to learn how to play a song, I would break it down and play one part of it, one riff, play it slow, play it fast, play it in different rhythms, and it would sound crazy to anyone who's listening because I'm, you know, playing just little bits and repeating it. But, you know, I would do that for like, you know, 5-10 minutes the next day after going to sleep, and that's like where all the memories get like encoded and stuff like that. Oh, it's a bit easier the next day. Do that after a couple weeks. Oh, it's really easy now. I can play much more than I could. I can play it faster, and that's how over time it develops. It's the small steps that over time add up to huge amounts of progress, all without having to take piano lessons. But again, if you are interested in, you know, pursuing a higher level, yeah, you're gonna miss out if you only ever do YouTube, because you're gonna be limited to the extent of knowledge that you can find on a YouTube video, which is sometimes good, but you're only ever going to be as good as the YouTube video. So that's where I am. I can play chords. I can finesse some chords pretty good, and sometimes fake it to make it look like I know a bit more than I do, just because I've had so much time to really master a very simple thing. I've had so much time to get good at doing one of the most rudimentary parts of piano, which is a piano chord, right? But the minute I don't know, freaking, you know, suspended 7th to the 3rd power, I don't know any of that, so I can't play much more to that higher level of degree. But that's okay with me, because I can play the songs that I like to play, and I can learn songs quickly and then learn to play those, and it works out great for me, and I like it.